Saucy Not Bossy.
Okay, welcome in, everybody. You're going to meet Madeline. Madeline, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Okay, Madeline, we got to start by talking about what just happened. So, people might know or might not, like, I'm going through a lot, and a mutual friend introduced us. When we started having this conversation, we started about half hour ago, and I was on, because I'm dealing with so much, and I was in host mode, and I'm like, hi, Madeline, how's everything, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm going through a lot, and you're like, wait, hold on. Can I work you through my process? And I'm like, what do you mean? So we took a pause, and my energy is completely different. I don't know what just happened, but can you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what just happened with us? This is so incredible. So, hi, Madeline.
So, yeah, what we did was a PSYCH-K process, right? And we were able to work through some things that you had been going through. And I'm going to use a word that could feel overwhelming, right? And that allowed us to process it at a more accelerated speed and really kind of put you into that whole brain state. And that is what I do in my sessions with people. So I'm a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. I have many certifications in coaching. I'm a yoga instructor, meditation teacher. But my real passion starting out over 20 years ago was mental health and addiction. One of the things that I started to learn is what you just experienced was that talk therapy has its limits. And people can logically know something. This is the best thing, but the emotions aren't there. Right. And so there's also this battle that happens. And so when we're able to go into a session and use this modality, use this to process, it really just kind of goes, I don't need to spend 5 years talking about the situation, or I don't need to do 13 to 14 weeks of learning how to not catastrophize something or, whatever that is, but to really kind of look at it now in that whole brain state and being able to really understand that.
So, what is PSYCH-K? What would you say PSYCH-K is?
So, PSYCH-K was a modality. It was formulated by a psychotherapist, Rob Williams, and he was kind of like, we're taught things in school, and he was working with clients doing therapy and realizing that it was the same stuff over and over again, like in the sessions, or, people weren't able to move past certain stuff, right? So it was like, oh, we identify something, and now what? And so he formulated this modality where you could use body positioning and eye movement. So it's basically modern neuroscience to go in and already change subconscious belief statements, process phobias and traumas, everything like that. Um, and so I was introduced to this a couple, years ago by somebody, and I was kind of like, ooh, that's not part of what I was taught in the psychology world and in counseling and stuff like that. And the person that allowed me to experience it, it was just life changing. And I was like, everybody's got to do this. He was like, well, why aren't you doing it in your private practice? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't know what's going on here. And so what we were able to do is I actually started to get trained in it and was able to introduce this into my practice. So people that are struggling in relationships or grief or low self-esteem or even career, finances, anything, when you're doing a PSYCH-K balance, that's what it's called, you're able to change the cerebral cortexes and actually go into a whole brain state. And now you're actually able to view something differently with something that's not limited or negative. And that's the easiest way I think I can describe it.
Wow. I've been in therapy since I was 9, and it's so interesting what you just had me do, sit there, focus on, kind of harnessing into the feeling and allowing me to just either wall out or cry or just breathe when it was really amazing because you're right. A lot of therapy that I've been in is you just talk your way out of things. It's like, yeah, but well, yeah, okay, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Where that really was very one topic, very centered into how am I feeling? And you're great because you're just like, okay, keep going with it. Now, what do you do? I was really honed in and it really just changed how I'm feeling about what's going on in my life. What do you do if a person is they can't even go there? Like they start and then have you seen people like shake or run away or has it been too much? How do you work with a person like that?
Sometimes it's working your way up to experiencing that, right? And being able to process it. Um, but most of the time when we're doing the kinesiology, right, the muscle testing in session, whether that's over Zoom or anything else like that, or in person, your subconscious will also let us know whether you're supposed to do it or not, or if it was meant to be in that moment. And so your subconscious is the power. It is like 95% of us. And so that's what people don't understand is like it's our subconscious. It remembers everything and it will also let you know what's safe and unsafe. And so when we did yours, your subconscious said, yeah, it's safe. We're going to process this. We didn't even have to do any goal statements first. You just went in and really feeling it. And then all of a sudden that decreased, that subsided. I feel differently. And so it can happen within seconds to minutes. That's why I think this is so important. And that's why I introduce it into my sessions, into my therapy with people, because I don't believe we're meant to suffer. We're not meant to carry the burdens or responsibilities of others. And we do. We all have our core wounds, like saying, like, no, I am good enough. No, I do love myself unconditionally. I can attract healthy people into my life. Right. And really putting this. And then once you put it in your subconscious, that is then how you view reality because you're changed.
Wow.
So, and
Wow.
a, so pretty powerful stuff.
It's interesting because I feel as though some groups I've been in, they don't really get to the root that fast. It's kind of like health is like a sick business where they want to keep you sick to keep you coming back. And I just feel like coming from you, you're like, bibbity bobbity, boo, now go. I'm like, don't you want to keep your clients? But at the same time, you just are like a magician where you're like, okay, but I guess there's always steps and levels to heal, right? Like things will probably come up for me once we jump off. How do you know when a person do we ever really heal completely? How do you know what that process is for a person where you can say, okay, now go fly?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's happened quite a few times. I think when the person can really decide that the biggest part of what I think is so important and my biggest goal is I want you to be self efficient. I want you to believe in yourself so that you can accomplish anything. And we sometimes have to get through those layers of healing, right? And even the childhood trauma, the beliefs, past and current relationship issues. You're not staying with me for 5 or 6 years. There are people that stay with me for 2 years, but it's not on a weekly basis anymore. It's on a bi-weekly basis. I have some people that come back and they say, listen, something new came up for me, right? And I haven't seen them in 3 months. And they're like, I just need some help in my subconscious right now, right? But they've already done so much work, right? That they are even aware that they need to recalibrate. I think a lot of people may be walking around not knowing that they're so triggered and so wounded. And they're just thinking that that is the reality. That's just the world. That's just their life. And so when you're really working on the deeper core roots of the healing and where it started, and then you're undoing those layers to become your authentic self, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. And so people will be also more in tune when something may be off centered, right? Um, and then they can come back whenever they need to. But my goal is never to keep anybody. Like, I'm not in the business to keep people. I'm in the business to let's get to the root issue. I want you to heal. I want you to bring light into the world. I want you to create healthy relationships, healthy careers, healthy families, whatever it is you're choosing. Go out and touch everybody else because, when you're your best version, you're going to help everyone around you. So I never want anybody to actually stay stuck. Um, and you'd be surprised, I'm a big believer in the universe and energy. So I just always say, okay, universe, who needs to heal? Bring them my way.
Do you go to the market and not want to tell like you meet people, and how do you people watch without wanting to have everyone come and do a session with you, How do you separate, like going out in the world and leaving it as is, or, having people come to you? Like how do you do that?
Well, I think for myself, if I'm reaching out and trying to force people to change or heal, then that's my ego,
Mm.
right? And then I'm interfering in their journey in life and, what their lessons may be, right? But if I can say, okay, I'm ready to help those that want to heal, to that really want to work, they usually find me. It's really interesting. And when I'm going out to the grocery store and I can see somebody really wounded, I kind of go, allow them to have their journey with grace. And I just do a quick snippet and I just go, allow that, allow that to happen gracefully for them. Right. And if I just can send out one positive vibe to somebody, that actually can change them. Right. Because we all have that. Right. And so that's kind of what I do when I see it, because sometimes I can walk into situations and I'm going, whoa, there's a lot of unhealthiness. I'm like, whoa. And I just kind of go, you know what? It's their journey, right? And that kind of helps me because I used to feel like I needed to help everybody. If I saw something, I wanted to like show them the way. And I was like, ooh, that's ego, right? That's my control. That's my self-will. That may not be what they need in that moment. And so I truly believe that people will find the right people at the right time.
So what would be, if a person now listening that's like, oh, I need a Madeline in my life, what does an idea of a session look like? Because I think a lot of people get nervous about, like, what is it going to look like? They've had bad experiences in the past. So for everyone listening, and then we'll tell everybody how to find you, but what would you say to a person before contacting you so that they're not nervous?
I think that it's so interesting you said that because there's been a couple people that have been so resistant to therapy. And sometimes when I even do couples work, there's always one partner that may be more resistant than the other. And I just let them know that this isn't about what they're doing wrong, because I think that's a big part of why some people may be turned away from therapy or any type of help, because it's kind of like, I think people have to be so mindful that they're not putting themselves in shame. And instead of going, okay, it's not that I'm wrong or doing anything wrong. And maybe I needed to experience that not so favorable therapist. I could learn my resiliency, my confidence, my determination. And so it's really about focusing on, I want to heal. There may be people that have interfered in that in the past. And that was something that I may need to experience it. It was nothing wrong with me.
Mm.
There was nothing that I did wrong. I think that a lot of people kind of go, it's just not for me for various reasons. Right. And I always ask somebody, I go, I don't know. What do you think about healing? And they go, healing's great. So then why isn't it for you? Like, why aren't you the person that can say it's time for me to heal? It does take courage to go into a room and talk about things. But I always tell people, I'm like, if you're worth it, right? You're worth it. You deserve the best. Maybe we need to do that in the first session. Maybe we need to put that in your subconscious in the first session, that you deserve to love yourself. You deserve to be loved. You deserve healing. You'd be surprised how many people I really do get in that kind of go, listen, so and so told me about you. I really don't know because I've had some bad experiences in the past. And then I kind of go, well, we're going to do what you want to do. I'm not focused on what you're doing wrong or what you can fix because it's not about that. It's about just getting to the authentic self and learning from our wounds and learning that we are not our wounds.
It's like that saying that guilt is I did something bad, but shame is I am bad. With
Hmm.
like you're saying of people, and it was interesting, I'm not used to, believe it or not, I'm not used to making things about me. I'm always making it about, everybody in my life. So sitting with you, that was really healing in itself. You allowing me, like you're saying, allowing me the time, allowing me to not feel like I'm on, am I wasting Madeline's time here? Was she bored by me? It was less talking and explaining of why I need to feel this way. And it was scary, but it really, it's like getting a root canal. You got to get through the root canal, right? In order for it
Hmm.
to cleaned out. And
Yeah.
whew, I'm going to tell everybody to just check in. Husbands get their wives a gift, like especially I deal with menopausal women. I love what you're saying is someone doesn't have to come to you and say what did I do wrong or I am bad
Yeah.
or I love that. Just a mom, everybody wanting to give a warm hug to. And I feel like people should know that about you. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
it's wonderful because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that didn't have great parents, and now, with my mom having Alzheimer's and then not having that voice, I would say to anybody that's losing a parent or never had a parent that had a voice, you would be an amazing asset in their life to really, you know, ground them.
But you know what? But you deserved that, right? Like you deserved to find some common peace. And people aren't realizing that everybody deserves that.
Well, let me ask you a question. People can think they deserve it, but what do you say to people that don't even know what that is? Getting rid of, a father that was always dramatic and abusive, mourning him and he's still alive, right? This is so weird. What do you say to people that is just like that you don't have to have the drama, that just feel like they just fuel themselves on catering to all these fires they have to put out all the time? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I do tell people? I'm like, welcome to the authentic you. Welcome to the you,
That's
right?
it makes me emotional. Yeah. No, it's good because it makes me really emotional. You're right. It's
Yeah.
like now but that's scary too. If you're
Okay.
busy putting out fires, for me, it's like if I was busy, oh, I don't have to sit with myself. So I see a lot of people that, like you said, are in survival mode, right? And that's how they do life. But that's not authentically the calm that they should, does it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so many people kind of can walk around and not know that life can be different,
Yeah.
right? That we don't have to stay, I call it like in suffering, right? And, mindfulness teaches us the basis of mindfulness is really letting go of expectations because expectation is what leads to suffering. And when we can let go of expectations and just go, who am I? What's the life that I live? What can I even bring to humanity? It's like, oh, wait a second. I have choice and I'm not attached to any of it. Yeah. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And I think um when I do, you know, my sessions with people and I really dive in deep and they're just really unmasking stuff and really getting into it, or people that are just saying, okay, I need help in this situation. Like, I really need to understand, I need to let go of this. To know that there is freedom and that when we start to really identify things and change it on a subconscious level, um, healthiness, abundance, self love, um, unconditional love for yourself and others. I mean, all of that is real. It's real. It's not just something you're reading on a poster. Like you're actually feeling it and experiencing it. And I think that that's why I do what I do, because I want everybody to know that. and I want everybody to be happy, and I want everybody to understand how they're dismissing themselves or people pleasing and why are we doing all of these things, right? And we don't have to do it anymore. And we can show up and be responsible to people, not for people.
Hmm. How long ago did you realize that for yourself, would you say?
My God, that I wasn't responsible to people or responsible, I should say, for people. Um, I think it's been a journey. I think that there's been moments where I've had these awakenings where I've said, that's not my burden. I'm not responsible for that since a young age. I don't think I grew up in a household where I always felt really loved and accepted. And I think that the universe has really provided opportunities for me to realize that difference and realize that my only responsibility is to my journey, and what was my journey in this life. And then how was I supposed to help others?
Where would you be if you were not helping others?
Obviously, on the wrong pathway, I feel, because I know that that's my purpose. I think, you know what? I think when we're not living our authentic lives, I'd probably be very unhappy. I'd probably have substance use, depression, anxiety. So when people come to me with that stuff, I go, yes, that means we got that right. That's actually might be your intuition telling you you're not on the right pathway. We're just not listening to it, or we're not taught to listen to it. So I think I'd probably be miserable. I probably wouldn't know myself. I'd probably be into this people pleasing and insecurity and all of the things that I did struggle with. So, and that, happened for me in a meditation where I literally was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with my life here? And was able to get an answer. And it was like, your purpose is to help others, right? Because that was farthest from my mind,
Hmm.
to tell you the truth. I was like, I'll be some photographer or art teacher or something like that. And it was like, boom. And then one day it just changed. So, and that was at like 19 years old.
I can't thank you enough. Okay, so where does everyone find you, Madeline?
So I do have a website. It's Encompassed Healing. Um, ENCOMPASSED. And the reason why I formulated that is because I thought that there wasn't just one modality or one thing that really was to treat us as human beings, as souls. And so I did encompassed healing, meaning it's everything. It's mind, body, spirit, it's childhood, it's adulthood, it's the first relationship to the last divorce that we may experience in our life. So I really wanted to bring that into what my practice was. And so they can find me through that website.
I'll put it down so people can find you, but thank you for everything that you do, and yeah, you're just wonderful. You're the real deal. I've been to a lot of different healers or, people that I'm just like even church where they're just not in it, I feel like, for the right reasons. Because what you do, I applaud you. It's hard to take on all of that energy because, well, I'm kind of still out of it. I still have to process what we just did, but it was a great experience, so I can't thank you enough.
Oh, yeah, well, I appreciate you because we've already had a couple of talks and stuff. So
I know. So it won't be the last. And thank you for enlightening everybody out there. And hopefully people can continue to heal and heal with someone like you.
yeah, and I mean that's the biggest thing is to reach out, and people don't understand this too is if you don't like who's helping you, you can change it.
Mm,
Find someone else.
I like that.
You don't have to just stay with something that's not going to work. And you don't have to just say never again. You could say, maybe not now. I need to find the person that's for me, and that person will help you.
I love that. I love that. Well, good, Madeline. Thank you so much. And then I feel like I could talk to you forever, but until next time,
Okay. Sounds good.
thank you.
Okay. Bye.